This is like the most boomer-coded thing I've ever seen.
I'm not crazy. Am I crazy, man? I'm a Sarai Anglican Al-Qaeda now, guys.
PM on Thanksgiving. I remember when that came out.
And I made a whole video on this because this was one of his best statements ever. This was a 10 out of 10 statement.
This is the 2016 Trump.
Yeah, 100%.
This is by far the best statement that Trump has had this year, like without question.
Possibly in 10 years. That's the type of comment that was made. And yes, the R word was used. The R word. He called Walz a retard.
Seriously retarded Tim Walz, governor of Minnesota.
It's beautiful. So, he went off on this, and
remember, you can't use the two N-words, but you can use the R word.
Oh, Jesus. American Nerd for 2. Why did Trump pause immigration on day 1? I don't know. That's a question for a different day, I guess. But it sounds like we're getting close to them doing it now. But President Trump, basically, he tweeted this in response to what happened in D.C. because, and really what happened, I think what happened last week that broke the camel's back is what happened in Minneapolis, what was exposed, and what's continuing to get exposed. That's getting worse by the day, by the way, which we'll get to in a second. And that's shooting those 2 National Guard members. Something changed with Trump after that shooting. Like,
also, rest in peace to Tim Walz' political career.
Yeah, his career's
we can get to that later.
But yeah, like, something like this shooting this made Trump really upset, the shooting.
You should pull up the picture of him that, like, started kind of going viral, like him just looking at the camera where he looked pissed.
Yeah, we'll get to that. But, like, is this weird? Does Trump seem more pissed off ever since the shooting? That's a vibe I'm getting.
I mean, it happened right outside the White House.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was
more emotionally for me. A sister at arms of mine is fucking dead. Sure, different National Guard function, West Virginia, not Texas, different fucking MLS. I don't care. She took the same fucking oath I did that all my friends who are in service did.
Yeah.
She fucking died a martyr for this shit. It will be like, my fury will be unmatched if Trump does not follow up and actually act on this shit now with immigration.
Now, American Nerd for 2, speaking of Venezuela, are we going to war with them? I don't know. Who freaking knows at this point? I think we're just going to bomb the shit out of them.
Apparently China, suggested a deal to let, like, Maduro leave, and then America would just, like, get to put their person in. And
yeah, that's probably what's going to happen.
I mean, yeah, I'd support the China deal. I know, shocker, the
of course
agents, but no, like, they gave a pretty reasonable deal. It was just like Maduro leaves power, and then like goes peace. There's no fucking like bombings. Rubio wants bombings because Rubio wants to like be able to show some shit. So that would be the best like fuck Rubio thing. Maduro just leaves office and like just it changes on its own. Rubio.
Well, I mean, Venezuela's a big problem. Like, people like play that down a bit. Are they as bad as some other countries? No. But
hey, Venezuelans account for the second largest by percentage and demographic number of people who illegally cross the border. Some days I deal with more fucking Venezuelans than I do Mexicans.
Yeah, there's a lot of problems with that. I'm not saying there's a lot of good Venezuelans, but it's like that country causes a lot of issues.
There can be really good Venezuelans, but they still need to go.
All right, Champ Drazik has been a member for 6 months, still laughing at MTG's crash out, embarrassing. Yeah, that was hilarious, and she's still going. She's still crashing out right now. So yeah, Riot Guy's been a member for 2 months. Not gonna lie, I really don't want a war with Venezuela. I don't really want one too, but if we just bomb the shit out of terrorists and call it a day.
I don't want to bomb anyone. It's gonna be a fucking stupid ass look.
We're gonna bomb people, Luke. We gotta bomb the narco terrorists.
I don't think we gotta do that.
I just don't want a ground invasion in Venezuela.
Yeah,
that's mostly what I don't want.
Yeah,
I'm okay with accepting a deal as well,
Let
too.
fucking Maduro
of course, Luke wants a China deal.
Maduro can be like Assad, live in his apartment in Russia playing video games. That's whatever. Just let that happen. I don't know.
Yes, the China shill wants the China deal.
It's a reasonable deal. We don't have to bomb anything. Maduro just.
You're not gonna have boots on the ground in Venezuela. There'll be at an absolute maximum. There'll be a few strikes, and that's it. Rubio, as much as he wants to be the savior of Latin America, also understands that if he starts while he has been handed the keys to the kingdom on foreign diplomacy, he also understands that the moment he starts trying to do anything too crazy, especially with regards to Latin America, Trump's gonna fucking sack him. I mean, it would the natural conclusion would be this should lead to more investigations, but unfortunately, Pam Bondi is a stupid fucking bitch who cares more about being perceived as not being racist than actual justice.
But the funny thing is about this thing is, like, you know what you use a social security number for? You know one thing you use it for that they said never happens?
There's a variety of things you can use social security for, brother.
You can vote.
Yep.
This is the problem.
No, in my rural Texas voting precinct, you can present your social security number. All you have to do is present your social security number to go vote. We're talking about a rapidly bluing excerpt of the Austin metropolitan area. I always present my driver's license, but like it's either your driver's license, a military card, a law enforcement card, or something like a social security number. Dude, you can get away with so much fucking shit.
Yeah.
You can get away with so much fucking shit with the social security number.
This is bad. And they were saying this is a conspiracy. And it's like, Musk was right. God knows how many people are on social security that shouldn't be. And that's a huge problem. How many people are on social security right now that shouldn't be?
Actually, I'm gonna give you a scary number. Remember how we were talking about that there were 55 million social security IDs that should not be actively used but are right now? Most likely, there are 55 million social security IDs involved in fraudulent activity because the person is deceased. There are 55 million illegal immigrants fraudulently using social security numbers. Yep. Think about how many trillions of dollars that is. I'm not crazy. Am I crazy, man? Like, am I crazy for just saying this shit over and over? I feel like I'm going fucking insane.
That's what they found. They found 55 million social security numbers for people over the age of like 200. Just sitting there like, yeah, it's perfectly fine. Yeah, nothing wrong there.
Tyrone was right all along.
The Department of Labor's, and now it comes on the heels of a new EEOC, anti-American bias educational materials, and underscores federal agencies' enhanced data sharing, aligned enforcement tools, and coordinated guidance to deter discriminatory hiring, particularly where job postings or screening practices may prefer non-immigrant visa holders such as H-1B over qualified U.S. workers.
Can you put this in the server, please? Okay, you did. Thank you. I'm sending this up to my mentor right now. He's gonna fucking cry when he sees this.
Holy freaking! This is huge. The fact that we're even talking about this, I didn't think we were gonna be talking this until like Vance. It's only 2025, and we're starting to talk about, hey, these companies, they're hiring foreign workers first. Well, what's going on here?
Look, I will say this. A lot of us have been very critical of the Trump admin. I get it. But, like, let's be honest. A lot of shit has happened this year. We did a lot of shit. Yeah. Okay, let's not act like Trump didn't do anything. Because, like, think about it. Like, during the Biden admin, it felt like there were years where nothing happened. And then, like, obviously, I think when Musk was around, there was a lot more happening. And since he left, there was a lot less. But remember, in the spring, every single day, there'd be something. We'd be on stream and be like, new thing. Oh, we're doing this. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there was a lot of shit going on. I think we're getting back into that state of things right now.
Yeah, everything. But so basically, this was a bill a lot of people complained about with immigration because, let's face it caused a lot of problems. Really, the stuff of the 90s did the most damage, but this started a lot of the crap we're dealing with now. Well, the White House and President Trump himself posted this. This is a real part of the bill. And yes, it's 90% shit. But funny enough, these bills in the 60s and 90s, they give the president basically unrestricted power over immigration. Like, he can just say tomorrow, we pause immigration because of somebody name a bullshit reason. Somebody name a reason.
Terrorism.
Yeah.
Actual legitimate reason.
Yeah.
All of these third world countries people have coming in, especially all these illegal immigrants, they're coming from Muslim countries, they're coming from China, the Afghans are fucking killing people in the streets. Pakistanis and Indians fucking rape gangs. I can't tell you the last time I was dealing with an alien from Africa who didn't have some kind of criminal charge. Whether it was gang violence or rape or murder of some fucking kind. It's not a bullshit reason. It's a national security concern. It's a public health concern. Because you can't fucking have all of these people from third world fucking countries who openly say they want to replace us and fucking rape and murder us and our fucking wives and our kids and our parents. And then tremble in fucking fear while they call you racist. I'm sorry. No. I should absolutely shut this shit down immediately with great fucking prejudice.
And here's that exact verbiage, because some people are say, well, it doesn't actually say that. This is what the Immigration Nationality Act says. Whenever the president finds that the entry of any aliens, notice where it says of any aliens, or of any class of aliens into the United States, which would be detrimental to the interests of the United States, he may, by proclamation, and for such period as he sees shall deem necessary, suspend the entry of all aliens, or any other class of aliens as immigrants or non-immigrants, or impose on the entry of aliens any restrictions he may deem to be appropriate.
United States Congress, the Democratic Party in specific, is saying they want to double the H-1Bs and they want to put these heads of these agencies in. They are literally openly saying, yeah, we're going to put Robert Endo, Stephen Miller in prison for racism and all that. They want to put the current people in charge of these mass deportations in prison, ruin them legally and financially, double the amount of H-1Bs we're taking in. And then, like everything else Congress has done since the fucking Kennedy era, or since the Johnson era, when Nixon took control, they want to restrict the president's power to do anything and have it be set up by Congress. And what's the issue with that, my dear viewers? Here's the fucking issue. Democrats are openly saying, well, they're going to imprison these people and we're going to import 1 billion Somalians every year. You know what the Republican Party is doing currently? We have congressmen whining about Trump making them go fucking vote and saying that they're going to resign because they don't want to actually do their job. See the fucking issue with this? Do you see the fucking issue?
That's the Republican Party for you. These people are so stupid.
A member of Congress to vote? They don't want to vote. They just wanted the title.
They want the title and they can rake in a fortune.
Oh yeah. Fucking miscarriage asshat fucking Green. Large Marge.
Oh my god.
Marjorie Trader Green.
Yeah. Miscarriage Taylor Greene. She wanted to be in Congress for 5 years so she could qualify for the fucking pension.
And like Cernovich, again, not everyone's a big fan of Cernovich, but it's a good point. It's like, hey, you were elected to serve the entire term, and then she attacks him for being like a sexist or something? Like, it's clear. She never gave a shit. She just wanted that pension. The problem is we're just taking too many people in. It doesn't matter where they're coming from. There's just too many people coming in.
Yeah. Well, we were never designed to take this many people in, and I want to touch on that. I want the white viewers of the stream here, my fellow European Americans, to understand something here. Latinos loyal to the United States, and I work with people like this, In fact, I would go as far as to say Border Patrol and ICE, they are unironically probably plurality Hispanic-dominated
I thought they were.
fucking government departments.
I thought
If
they were,
not
actually.
outright majority. Yeah, they are. I know Border Patrol is mostly Hispanics. Here's the fucking thing. All of these illegals trying to come in, they call these Hispanics loyal to the United States traitors to the race. Traitors to la raza.
I've heard about
We are the whites in this country are the only people who do not have a racial consciousness. I want that to be made clear. We are the only people without a racial consciousness in this fucking country. That's why the white liberals get fucking stomped all over, and that's why we get fucking stomped all over. Because we allow these foreign ethnic groups like Somalians from anywhere in the world to fucking come in, set up this shit, and then you see that shit, we're gonna transition to this now, with the Minnesota Department of Public Affairs saying that Somalians were able to get away with stealing $250 million fucking in taxpayer money, sending it to Somalia, and then threatening to expose Minnesotan white liberal taxpayers as fucking racist. I don't know about y'all, but I don't think $1 billion of $250 in taxpayer funds be fucking given to a place where they have not had functional civilization for over 2,000 years because they don't want to be perceived as racist. That shit is so fucking retarded.
Yeah.
So just like Tim Walz, it's seriously retarded.
And by the way, this is one program. And this is one program for one department to one group of people.
Yeah, Barnes is just the shittiest possible candidate. Like I said, there's mountains of shit on this guy. We're just talking about it. He assaulted reporters. He didn't pay his property taxes for like 2 years. He went on Russian state television to talk about how racist America is. He's all over the place. He's horrible. He has an interesting Twitter history.
And, you know, tweeted at the Ayatollah.
What?
Yeah, he
I posted in general earlier. If you go up,
Wait,
if you want to share some of
did you
these,
forget about the time where he was quote tweeting the Ayatollah?
yeah, share the tweet of him quote tweeting the Ayatollah.
Are you serious? Hold on, I got
Yeah,
this
look.
up. Oh my gosh! What the hell?
I'll be back later.
What is this? Hold on, let me pull this up.
Oh, Tyrone left.
And YouTube just freaking, oh my gosh, YouTube's really, I'm about
First
to,
tweet of 2015 from Khomeini, Iran is hashtag Black Lives Matter.
what the hell? This is his account? It is!
Yes, it's his account.
Yeah, and don't remember the time I think he called somebody a saltine or something?
Yeah, look, that's the tweet above. I posted in general. If you go in general, there's the one above. You can share that one.
Yeah, I see that.
Where's white Wisconsin game for you? Who dat saltine thinking from?
This is freaking, what the hell?
I remember he put saltine in brackets, so you know he meant cracker.
This is under Biden. In 2021, there were 270,000 non-citizen social security numbers issued. First of all, why are we giving these people social security numbers? That's the first question.
Because they're just as American as you.
Yeah, they're just American. They crossed border 5 minutes ago. But look at this. In 2022, it jumped up to 590,000. 2023, 964,000. And in 2024, 2.1 million people got social security numbers issued. But I thought this wasn't happening. The Biden admin, they purposely opened the border, and look at it now. Look at this. Millions of people, they're illegally getting social security numbers. They shouldn't be here. Just, it's skyrocketed. It's not like, you know, went up 1% or whatever. It, what? Went up 10 times the amount in just 4 years? From 270,000 to 2 million? Yeah, the New York Times, they even admitted that the article, that they admitted in an article that, yeah, they're just casually importing a bunch of people, giving them numbers and stuff, and it's perfectly fine because racism or something. Yeah, I don't know. This is bad. And the crazy thing about this is I guarantee you a bunch of people voted. Let's cut the crap they voted.
I am once again pointing out to the audience that there are a variety of ways in which the Democratic Party registers non-citizens to vote in our elections, affect them, and affect your life, because they do this in blue states to reinforce their votes, they do this in red states to take over local and state governments, and they do this in swing states to swing it their way and turn them into blue states. This is political warfare, people. 2024 alone, that is more than enough votes to flip the popular vote and give it to Trump over Harris.
Yeah.
Imagine what the actual margin would have been if these past 4 years, none of these people were given the ability to vote. Imagine close. Look,
it probably was like, listen, that's the scary thing. The fact that we even have to even question that because of these numbers, that's the issue. And these are the ones they know about.
Yeah. I'm just saying, if you have that many non-citizens with Social Security IDs who are able to go out and vote, and every vote matters, unironically. Every single fucking vote matters. That's how it's worked. That's how it's always worked. Which is why the Democrats are so hell-bent on letting non-citizens who hate this country come in and fucking vote and profit off of us as if we're a fucking economic zone. Like, wake up, guys. That's what this is.
Yeah, and this is what they know about. That's a scary thing. And by the way, these are newly issued ones, by the way. So you're talking about 3.7 million people just 4 years.
Do you guys want to know one of the big reasons Patel was nominated?
Why?
He wrote a series of children's books with Trump as the main character. I'm not even joking. Publi showed this to me last night. Here, I'll post an example of one. Here's an example. He wrote a book called The Plot Against the King, and Trump is the king. Hillary Clinton is like this wicked witch of the West type figure, and he made himself the fucking wizard helping Trump stop the steal.
What the plot against the king? This is like the most boomer coded thing I've ever seen. I refuse to accept this as real. I don't believe you, Tyrone.
There's the Amazon link for the first book in the series.
The plot against the king.
It's a series? There's multiple?
There's multiple.
There's a cinematic universe?
It's real! It's actually a real thing! By Kash Patel.
There's a fucking whole fucking... That's crazy, dude.
Is that James Comey in the bottom left?
James Comey in the right.
That looks like James Comey!
I think it is supposed to be James Comey.
Who the fuck? What the hell? First of all, why does Trump look like that?
Second of all, why did Patel self-insert himself there? He wasn't relevant whatsoever.
I've seen shit like that with like extremely autistic Loud House fans.
Oh my gosh, that's a reference. This is the problem with Trump. You gotta love Trump. The ego thing is just, it's a blessing and curse at the same time.
Trump's gonna see it. Trump's gonna see Cash in Valhalla.
Oh jeez.
Kash Patel is not a very good lawyer. He has not been a good lawyer for the longest time. He got to where he was by fucking by grapefruiting and fucking sucking off Trump 24/7.
Yep, and that's Trump's problem.
Tyrone, you should probably tweet about the children.
The real problem is apparently, well, we know this for a fact, they have not fired a single person. So all the same assholes that were corrupt, that are doing a lot of issues, they're still at the FBI and DOJ, and they're stuck.
Kash Patel and Pam Bondi care more about not being seen as racist or controversial because they now have these prestigious positions when we're at a time where they need, or where of all things, we need those positions to go after people for the systematic corruption that has existed in this country since in its current form, the Obama administration, with targeted political violence, going after American citizens, putting people in jail and whatnot. You guys already know all about it. There was a witch hunt against Trump. They raided Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah. And, like, went through, like, freaking, like, Melania's drawers and shit. And we're just letting this happen. And that's gonna just... That's the irks me. I just don't know if there's enough time to replace these two. I don't know. Because Trump is waiting till the last possible second if he's to replace them. Yeah, again, he should have done this back in June, Pam Bondi, when she fucked up the Epstein files and that mysterious document was leaked. That's when he should have fired her. But no, had to stick with her because she says the right things. All right.
If we can't have a permanent attorney general, Matt Gaetz and Andrew Bailey need to work very closely together.
I have an idea.
So that if we can't get Bailey confirmed, Trump needs to do the nuclear option. He needs to put Gaetz in as interim attorney general, and as soon as Gaetz is done, put Bailey in as interim attorney general, and then we find somebody else.
Well, you know what you can do? And I proposed this to some people. You know how you get around this shit?
How?
You make up some bullshit position in the DOJ. Some bullshit executive position. Like, the co-deputy director of, who frickin' knows? But here's the thing with these positions.
Deputy director of national security.
Yeah. Here's the thing with these. You can essentially delegate the powers of the AG to these positions. They kind of did it with Ed Martin, even though they're screwing him over, trying to throw him under the bus. But they did it with him with the mortgage stuff. So, make up these bullshit positions and put, like, Andrew Bailey, Matt Gaetz. Who's the third person you can think of? Idiots. They were saying, like, Napoleon was, like, which we talked about that yesterday, how Napoleon was...
Yeah, the new low IQ anti-Semitism. These people, they hate Western civilization. Let's be fully clear with it. Like, these people are no better than the left. In fact, they're worse than the left because they think Western civilization is Jewish. So, like, every single person in Western civilization.
And
why they hate Napoleon, by the way.
They hate Napoleon because somehow he's
the embodiment of Western civilization.
Yeah, that's why they're mad about it. They're mad because he embodies the West. What he did. It pissed
These
off
people
all
are third worldists at the end of the day. And they think they're, like, based, actually, because it's the Jews. And it's like, no, you're not based.
And let's be clear about one thing.
I'm
like,
sorry.
Anybody that... Listen, not everybody criticizes Israel's like that. Like, most people are not. Like, I criticize Israel all the time.
Most people are normal like me. There's Jewish people who criticize Israel.
Yeah,
like,
freaking the...
Yes. Like, that's the thing.
Yeah.
There's a difference between criticizing Israel and going into full-blown anti-Semitism like these people do.
It's complete schizophrenia where they're saying, well, Napoleon gave them citizenship. Why does that matter?
Yeah, I was watching that video. It's just like, he gave Jews equal rights. I'm like, oh, the humanity. The humanity.
That's the whole point of the French Revolution. For equal rights. Like, that's the whole point. And on top of that, that was before Napoleon even got there. They don't mention that part. It was the Jacobin, well, not Jacobins. It was the more moderates one that pushed it first. Then Jacobins took over. And then unexpected since a low turnout race.
I did some
taking the W no matter what, how small.
I did some looking into it. It wasn't that bad. The electorate was pretty blue compared to how the seat usually. None of this was due to persuasion. Would also like to point out Trump only won that district by 15 back in 2020.
Yeah.
And Van Ept actually did better than Trump did in 2020 in the suburban part of the district. So it wasn't
funny how that
horrible.
works.
And here's the thing too. The electorate, even compared to 2020, was like 5 points bluer. So this is what happened. Dems turned out, and I can't really see Dems turning out at like bigger levels than this in the midterms. Dems are hitting their ceiling consistently for turnout. Republicans aren't, which means we're gonna be, when next year comes around, the gain turnout is probably gonna benefit us. So I think people need to stop dooming. Like, she's running again, and this district, Van Epps will beat her in this district next year, probably by 15 to 20, probably maybe even over 20.
So I got
Oh, by the way,
Good lord. What? What?
what do you call it? Darren said he's not running in Texas. He's running for California's 48.
Yeah, so okay, I got the results pulled for Tennessee. I made a video on this yesterday, but like I said, it was a very mixed election for both sides because on one hand, yes, it's not good Republicans did this bad, but like Luke was bringing up, you look at the precinct numbers, we're getting some results early on, it really looks like Democrats kind of hit their ceiling. And they still lost by 9 here. So again, that's not a good result. But Democrats, how much money they spent in this race? Was it like $4 million or something?
Yeah.
It was some crazy
Here's what I'll
amount.
tell you too. High propensity Republicans in the suburbs voted. The problem was rural drop-off. So we don't have to worry about, like, that's the thing. When Republicans have suburban bases, which again...
But guys, does this look good for him? Is it going to be below water by 12 points?
Will said some of the... I think his approval in reality is probably closer to, like, -8. There's a lot of questionable polls in that average.
Freaking Gallup with -24. In no world does 60% of Americans think Trump's bad. Same thing with Reuters. So it's probably as close to -8, -9.
That would be noticeable. Like, Trump is nowhere near it, because that, like, Biden's unpopularity was noticeable. You know what I mean? Like, even Dems, like, were fucking coming out being like, yeah, you despise him. It's not
do have a
noticeable.
theory. I do have a theory what's going on here. My take is, I think a lot of these polls, they are purposely pushing bullshit after Virginia. They had to overcompensate.
Look at Emerson's poll in Tennessee.
Yeah.
They were off by 7. They're deliberately pushing this shit. Look at their Nevada poll. They had Lombardo up 8 with independents, but he was tied. Trump was tied with independents when he won the state by 3 because they're ridiculously oversampling Dems. This is what happened. People are mad that they got Jersey wrong. Not even Virginia. Virginia, they were roughly accurate in. But
it was just for the
Jersey.
AG race they got wrong. But
yeah.
But even then, it's like, that's the issue what's going on here. A lot of these pollsters, again, both can be true. It is trending downwards. And like, that's not even, how percent clickbait? I literally tell the truth, like, yeah, his polls are going down.
I don't even know if it's necessarily trend, because different polls are saying different things. This is the problem. Polls are all over the fucking place. It wasn't like that in this first term. It wasn't even like that in Biden's term. Trump's second term polls are all over the place. Because Monday we were talking about TIP, which is a pretty accurate pollster. They show there's a healthcare plan that
we're gonna get to that with Mike Johnson.
Yeah, but if that comes out and it's good, how is Trump gonna go down? Like, what's gonna happen that's gonna nuke his? I mean, the AI bubble potentially.
That's the one issue.
Yeah, that's the one thing.
The AI bubble's getting bad, and now like, basically it's up. Like, if Nvidia falls, it's over. Like, the entire economy is based on Nvidia.
Because that would have nothing to do with Trump, but still, people are stupid, so they'll say, "Oh, Trump did that."
Well, the problem is all these dumbasses, they put all their eggs in one basket with AI, and they're slowly realizing, oh, this is stupid.
I mean, it could still be averted if people are just like, yeah, maybe we should do this.
No, dude, the AI, shit, like, tech is going to be obliterated when the AI bubble pops. Yesterday, Micron, one of the 3 biggest chip producers for DRAM and RAM. DRAM is like your solid state drives and shit that go on your graphics cards. They announced they're just straight up not selling to the consumer market anymore. They are going heavily enterprise.
If you want to make some money, I'd recommend shorting NVIDIA. Eventually,
NVIDIA is the last stand.
If you short NVIDIA, you might.
Is that sad though?
NVIDIA is gonna get fucking nuked.
It's one company holding the entire economy afloat. That's where we're at this point. Because if that falls, it's over. If NVIDIA goes down even a couple percent, it's done. That's the issue with the, and that's what I was saying back in like March. They should have just taken the hit on the economy on purpose. They had the opportunity to do so. Just take the hit for a couple months. Let's see them out of the market. But they freaking Lutnick had to go through do stupid shit.
So here's the thing. The AI bubble is the last Hail Mary. So, okay. All of this started when the Normans conquered England. No, I'm kidding. I'm not pulling Putin. So the way that the American economy works is we operate off of neoliberal economics, which includes we could just take on infinite debt forever, because that's how the welfare state works. That's how paying for things work in America. You just assume that you're never going to have to pay anything out. We're now at the point where you can no longer deny that you have to pay things off. And this scares people. And the Hail Mary right now with the AI bubble is that AI is going to be able to generate infinite economic growth. If AI were not a thing, the economy would have been stagnant in its growth, less than 1% for the past 3 years.
If
The
that.
entire bet, the entire bet with AI is that AI is going to be able to continue economic growth, so we can continue the debt machine. And it's literally just not feasible. We lack the energy infrastructure to pay for AI. We lack the rare earth minerals to be able to sustainably produce our own shit, especially since Trump tariffed China. And this is why I said the tariffs were stupid. Trump putting a tariff on China meant China immediately retaliated and meant actually you can't touch our rare earth minerals anymore, which is the reason why a new 2 big hit of RAM cost you fucking an arm and a leg. That's more or less it. We don't have the supply chain or industrial infrastructure or know-how to be able to sustainably produce what is necessary to pay for AI growing.
Yeah, I mean, it's unsustainable. It's the last-ditch effort for the current economic system. This is always my issue with this. Like, I understand the idea, like, yeah, AI could be a big economic boost, but banking everything on it like we did, and like building these shitty data centers.
The reason they're banking on it is because that's the only fucking reason. That's the only way that they're going to be able to continue the fucking. The moment AI stops being profitable is the moment everything goes to shit. That's literally the only thing that's allowing the economy to keep growing. And then people can keep saying, oh, well, the economy's booming right now, Benny. This is why I keep saying Trump's terms of like an economic golden age are fucking stupid.
Here's a take that I want what do you guys think about this? What if Trump invokes the Defensive Production Act? You guys know what that is?
Yeah, I know what that is.
What if he invoked
Maybe.
that for like housing?
Interesting idea.
Well, because for those that don't know, that's the act Trump invoked during COVID for the shit. What was it again? Was it ventilators and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what it is. Basically, it's like, you know, you use is it the Defense Department that does that, or Department of War, technically?
Department of War.
Yeah. Yeah, so the idea is like, well, invoke it for housing, so you could theoretically build more houses faster, and you'll have resources behind it. I was thinking about that. It's like, I don't know if that's a good idea or not. They invoke it for that, but I don't know. We haven't really tried that before. Just say it's a national emergency for housing and build a bunch of houses, and like not shit ones. I don't know.
Prefabs aren't that bad anymore. That's the thing. Like,
well, that's what I'm
it's
saying.
entirely possible. Prefabricated homes are actually quite decent to live in now.
That's my ideal. Like, just do a bunch of prefab housing, and that won't be that expensive, especially you got the Department of War behind it. I don't know. We'll see how that. I mean, just an idea was floating around. I'm gonna try to propose it to somebody.
It isn't a bad idea. I do like it.
Yeah, I mean, you guys just put the housing. Part of it is immigration, of course, but we're still not building enough houses. I know, like, there's more sellers than buyers now. I get that. We have not built enough houses for like 20 years now. It's been a downward spiral since 2008 for obvious reasons, but we are building less houses than we did back in 1950, for crying out loud. There's just not enough houses being built. That's part of the problem. You can fix that not overnight, but the problem is you have people that come here 5 minutes ago, and they say, like, we have to import more people.
People that came in under Biden, by the way. The majority of people who voted for Zoran Mamdani. came in under the Biden admin. You remove people who came in under Biden alone, Cuomo would have won that fucking race. It is a perfect example of how all this recent unfettered immigration directly affects our politics. Because now New York City is going to be run by this crazy fucking.
All right.
Sorry, I was stepping outside. Because fucking New York City is now run by this motherfucking gay race communist. Because New York State has set it up so that you can get a social security number. Dude, I have literally seen detainees here in Texas at these facilities I work in. They have their social security numbers, and they have license plates, and they have driver's licenses from these states, which don't even require proof of citizenship to vote.
But nobody votes, everybody. No immigrants vote.
I have no doubt in my mind. I have handled cases of illegals from Colorado, California, New York, any of these blue states. And the sole reason they have been able to vote is because these states. That's another fucking thing. You want to get rid of all this illegal bullshit? You want to be able to actually have secure elections? Mandate voter ID and proof of citizenship for voting federally and statewide. If that means undermining the state's rights to set its own fucking rules,
I think you have to. You need to do what we did in the South after the Civil War. I'm sorry, we're to that point now. These states are just an open rebellion. They don't care. They do care. They know what they're doing on purpose. They're purposely letting people that shouldn't vote.
Yeah, no, they know what they're doing. The reason they're doing this is because it directly benefits them and it directly enriches them.
That's what I'm saying.
Because you know what? Here, I will explain it one second.
Okay. Super chat.
I will explain it in a. This is how the white liberal brain works. The core belief is inequality is racism. Racism is fascism. Inequality leads to racism. Racism leads to fascism, and fascism leads to genocide. Therefore, you need to stop inequality whenever it's seen. That's their fucking train of thought with this shit. It's like, oh, we need to end inequality, we need equity at all costs, because they unironically have the most childish view of the world, where they think having inequality is some bad thing. It is unfortunate that things are unequal in the world, but you can't have a civil society while eliminating equality. That is unironically socialist beliefs, and we all know where socialism goes.
Yeah.
With the abolition of the class system.
Chief Officer Henry Wilder has been a member for 2 months. Thank you so much. This is a serious discussion. More and more people on the right are realizing this. You cannot have these people. They vote. They abuse the system. They shouldn't be here in the first place. But we import them. They don't. What do we gain, honestly, from this?
We don't gain anything. The only thing that some people in this country gain is the ability to go to bed at night because they're so horribly mentally ill and propagandized about the heckin' brown people that they have this suicidal tendency to just totally go and say, well, we should throw our whole nation. It's literally, that image is like, oh, that poor brown man is crying, quick, burn the Constitution. It's literally that image. It's that fucking simple.
What is he talking about?
Oh, we're talking about this shit, yeah. We're talking about Rand Paul. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh, I remember now. We're talking about where he said only 21% of votes from Venezuela don't have drugs.
Now you know what I'm talking about.
79% of all votes from Venezuela to the United States have drugs on them. I don't give a fuck.
Right here. Got the tweet right here. And people began to wake up this bullshit. I got the tweet right here where he says, guys, right here, the Coast Guard reports that over 3/4 of the votes they have stopped have drugs. That's great information and admirable record for accurate information, but it's not so great if you're droning them instead of arresting them. If you're killing people, 1 of 4 potentially being wrong is too many. So, he is purposely saying, well, yeah, we shouldn't be bombing these people because they might have drugs on them, but oh, the 1/4 that we did bomb them might have drugs on them. That was a mistake. How do we know these people were mistakes to bomb?
Okay, so here's what I was saying, right?
That's perfect. Good, go on.
Here's what I was saying. You have an NGO flying in 1,000 Somalis, right? Every day for like, I don't know, 8 weeks. So you now have like 80,000 Somalis in an area. I'm going to use this for Minnesota. I'm not going to use hyper-specific numbers. I'm just going to get the point across. You fly in a sufficient number of Somalis into these blue states, and then you help them get settled. You give them money through the NGOs. The NGOs, they cover paying for their social security IDs and their driver licenses. They just outright bribe local governments to do this shit, but sometimes they actually do help them get their stuff legally. And then when they have these things, they tell them, because keep in mind, they still have to be fairly close to these NGOs that they're tied to. The NGOs tell them, okay, cool, you're going to show up to here, you're going to go vote for anything with a D next to the name, and if you do that, then you get to stay here. And then you have these 80,000 Somalis. They've now gone and vote in this. They've gone and vote for this congressman or this congresswoman, right? And here's where the magic happens. Here's where the magic happens. These congressmen, who has been the champion of Somali rights, they say, "Cool, thank you for serving me." And then when it comes time to set up the next fucking amicus bill or the next NDAA or whatever, they vote to raise their salaries, and they vote to increase aid to all of these welfare programs. We're going to enrich healthcare even further and whatnot, and then all of these welfare programs, all of the like Medicare, autism help, etc., state or federal level, these things, then that money is literally just directly funneled into these groups, and from there, these groups send their money back overseas. It's very cut and clear. It's not hard to understand. Illegals going to vote for you with broken forms of identification means that they are more easily able to send people who are equally as corrupt up, so that the people who are corrupt then go vote to expand all of the welfare programs and gives me that and all the benefits that they benefit directly from. And then the more money that they get, the more money that they send home that we as Americans are losing. And nominally, you want to know how they pay off? Do you want to know how they pay for all of this when they propose these welfare expansions? They raise taxes.
Yeah.
Your elected representatives don't actually represent you. Your elected representatives are elected and propped up by illegal communities who send them to represent them at the state and federal level, who then go to vote for expanding welfare programs. And when those welfare programs are expanded, your taxes increase, your rent increases, your quality of life goes down because your cost of living goes, because you don't take as much of your paycheck, and all of that money you're losing out on goes directly to these motherfuckers. It goes directly to them, and they use that money to either buy drugs or buy superfluous shit, or they send it back home.
Yeah.
And it is an endless cycle, because they know the moment that they see benefits from their elected representatives,
they vote that
they're going to keep doing that. They keep doing that. You can appeal to their socially conservative values all you want. They're going to keep voting Democrat because the Democratic Party is the only party corrupt and morally debased enough to actually go and fucking give them the money that they want from these broke-ass welfare systems. This is why I'm saying I straight up think a chunk of the government needs to be totally fucking axed. Because the only way that you're going to be able to end that bleeding, you're going to be able to end that corruption, is if you go and fucking say, hey, this no longer fucking exists. That money, your fucking line of accounting is gone, buddy. It's fucking gone. You can't tolerate that shit anymore. They take the money directly from you, and they give it to these motherfucking Somalians and all these other millions of fucking ethnicies that they're importing, these Catholic NGOs. They're getting tax credits and all this other shit from the federal fucking government, too. It is a system that is self-fulfilling, self-looping. That is exactly how it fucking works. So when you say, oh, don't go vote because Trump's not based enough on Israel or whatever, cool. I hope you enjoy getting fucking totally economically abolished. I was gonna say something else. I had to stop myself there. I'm sorry for working myself up, but this is exactly how that works. And this is why you need to support Trump no matter what and keep the pressure on him, because the more these law enforcement agencies get involved to start sending people back, oh, what do you know? 4th month in a row, rent is going down. You know why? Because there's more money in the system, because you don't have all these fucking Somalis benefiting from welfare programs taking up rent. Property's gonna go down because you don't have all these illegals buying up the fucking land. Oh, the price of groceries is going down because you don't have to compete with all these fucking Somalis taking your shit. Chat. I want chat to tell me directly. Am I crazy for explaining all of this, or does this make perfect sense? Because I feel like a lot of people need to have these things explained to them.
Is it possible that, we always, I'm not saying that we're belief that we're more intelligent than the people running these campaigns? What if what we believe, what we run on, and what we think are important, just in the internal polling, are only important to Zoomers? I'm not saying I'm not saying that boomer slop Fox News is the only way to do things, but, there is a possibility that we're all focused on issues that the average American just isn't. And that's why some Republican operatives may do things that we think are stupid, and they may be stupid to Zoomers, but they may not be stupid to Gen X types. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
How much of our beliefs on what should be done are just driven by the fact that we are terminally online Zoomers that may not be entirely in lockstep with the median American voter?
I agree. One thing I'll tell you, in the age of micro-targeting, a lot of messaging we find cringe gets these people out. Look, to us, when we see this, because here's the thing. I think there's a difference between micro-targeting certain groups and, making this the message. Because I am someone who, I think the socialism shit's retarded that the right does. I think it's stupid. But it is objectively a fact that shit riles up, Gen Xers and boomers. So
it also riles up certain Hispanic groups. I will say that it's a big thing with Venezuelans. It's a big thing with Cubans. I'm not saying you need to run a national campaign on,
I know, but I'm saying you can micro-target these groups. And
that's probably also rile up the Zoomers because they'll say, oh yeah, these socialists, I'm going to go vote for them.
That's why we micro-target. You micro-target Republican voters, and that gets them out to vote.
The issue, though, is, I get what you're saying. Some of the messaging stuff, it does appeal to, boomers and stuff. I get that. But the problem is they are just ignoring young people right now. That's the issue.
They are. There has to be a balance. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but still, Rap, be honest. What chunk of the electorate in midterms is under the age of 30? 5 to 6%?
Let me look it up. Micro-targeting is whenever you have data, you know roughly what a certain house or a certain telephone number's person, what his politics are, and then you kind of cater around that with certain messaging.
Okay.
I think Democrats have been doing that, obviously. I think when they're targeting black voters, they're probably saying, oh yeah, you like Trump, you're going to get more George Floyds.
Yeah.
Because you can empower the race.
Yeah, and here's the thing, too. In grassroots organizing in general, Dems have been outpacing us for years. I mean, look at the app that most Republicans use for door knocking. It's called Campaign Sidekick. Luckily, they're throwing this shit out. This was the only app they used. It's notoriously a joke. I think they did a study. It was 45% of the partisan, labels were complete bullshit. So you'd be going up to a house and you're supposed to say if the person's Republican, you're supposed to give them a script and it would say they're Republican. Half the time you'd go up, the person who's supposed to be a Republican will have a BLM flag and a fucking Progress Pride flag on their house. I've seen that several times. Luckily, Americans for Prosperity, who I work for, we have our own like app that's way more accurate. Sometimes, you know, you get
I do know. Oh, come on.
Yeah, go on.
I was just saying, like, I do know the RNC is working on a new system right now. They're building new infrastructure. They just fucked it up for Virginia and stuff. I don't know why they didn't use it, but that's
There's a
GOP
reason
for you.
Third-party organizations do the best because they develop their own. The Republicans just use Campaign Sidekick, which sucks, and the RNC is run by fucking boomers. They don't bring like so they're just like, oh yeah, this will work. It's got basic stuff.
I will say, I've never actually used Campaign Sidekick. When I've worked for Ted Cruz, when I'm doing my current campaigning, I've used Advantage. And Advantage, I think, has probably been better. I've never used Campaign Sidekick, so I can't really compare.
Yeah.
And
Right.
it's usually accurate, although sometimes with Republicans, I get the occasional, like, Lincoln Project type. That's just hate Republicans now, but...
I was gonna say, it is much harder to model voters in states like Texas where there are no voter registration. The closest thing you can get to modeling Texas voters is how they voted in a primary, because that is all public data. If you pull up a voter, if you pull up an address, you can see who all in the House are registered to vote. You can see how they voted in primaries and if they voted in elections. If they're a voter that has voted in primaries, like Democrat primaries, that's kind of how you model them. If they vote in a mix of both, you can kind of model them as a swing voter.
And you can also, a group of Trump aligned super PACs will attempt to oust Indiana Republicans. The effort will exceed 8 figures. Holy shit.
Wow.
Remember, the Trump campaign, they have an infinite war chest. They have fuck you money to spend. And which is why I'm mad they didn't use it last year. But they have, what, like 3 billion saved up or something? What is it, 3 billion it was?
Yeah, I don't think they wanted to dump a bunch on the New Jersey and Virginia governor.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. Their internals probably showed them this shit was over. Trump had people put money into Jersey to hopefully lessen the loss. But like, yeah, why would you waste all that money on
I guess.
You could save it up for next
Yeah.
year.
But they have so much money.
Part of me wonders if the reason they didn't dump much money to begin with was because they foresaw. I'm not saying Trump 4D chess. I seriously doubt this is what actually happened, but part of me legitimately wonders if they saw that we were gonna not win these races like we thought we were, or at the very least, they just expected us to lose these races. And then they could say, yeah, Democrats won. I don't think the government shutdown helped their estimations at all. If anything, it probably bolstered the idea to them that, yeah, we should push for like the total abolition of the filibuster, which I'm happy that it played out this way, because if we lose Virginia and New Jersey for a cycle, it sucks. But I do think that losing 2 blue states, unfortunately, as unfortunate as it is, if we could use it to completely destroy the filibuster, it's 1,000% worth it. It's not even.
I would also argue that. I would also argue as a wake-up call, because like our ground game did not work in both states. Clearly, it did not work at all.
Fucking way! Look at what James Fishbach just tweeted. Oh my god. Okay, I'm posting this. There's no way he fucking posted this.
I like Fishbach, but what did he post?
Look.
Well, didn't you? He just had a scandal yesterday.
Look.
Oh.
Yeah. Dark vision for America.
Oh my god.
I was currently online. I remember when people on ET would post that as a joke. And now
He represents a dark vision for America.
And it's so true. But also, this is the guy, by the way, James Fishbach. It came out last night that he was dating a 16-year-old.
Yeah. Listen, I like James Fishbach because of the stuff he's saying, but my god, dude, what are you doing?
And not only that, but this is the guy that probably spent his own money on Polymarket to put himself in the lead for like a minute.
Oh,
No,
that's
this
right.
Just to claim,
Candidate.
just to
This
claim,
is a
oh
serious
my gosh, we're going up.
Well,
We're
remember
gonna
that
be
fake poll?
nominated.
He released a fake poll of him winning by 5. Like, dude,
No,
nobody knows who you are.
James Fishbach is a totally serious candidate, and if you disagree, you're being paid by Israel or India or,
Yeah.
something,
Gosh.
or China. I
That's
don't know.
no. Here's
Or
what I'll
Egypt.
say: the only policies he said he doesn't like H-1Bs. He wants to abolish property taxes, and he isn't taking money from Israel, which he's running for governor. So I don't know how any of
Wow.
this, like, how is he gonna fix Florida?
Like I said,
He doesn't say.
Like I said, he's running a populist Inc. campaign. So,
I don't
yeah.
think he's
It's
running
like balance-
Populist Inc. I think he's running as like I think he's probably a fan of Nick, and I think he's running as like a Nick candidate.
all right, right here. So, Congressman Tim Burchett is now going to be is trying to become the next House Doge Committee chairman because MTG was the original chairwoman of this position. She had a lot of power and is the real reason the Doge cuts never went through. They destroyed it. They wasted all their time and money. Yeah. President Trump would get up for 5. It wouldn't be a rap stream if his friends aren't saying something to give him an anxiety attack. Well, it's stupid. I'm not happy because, like, some of the shit probably like the damn stream. MTG ruins everything she touches. Yeah, well, she does. Everything she's touched. The Doge cuts, it failed because of her. Yeah, you can blame Mike Johnson, but who's in charge of the committee? The Doge cuts through. MTG. And they failed miserably. It was because of her. They focused on bullshit nobody cares about. Like, I think it was the final committee hearing was on, like, transgender stuff or something. It's like, what are we doing? And weather modification weapons, it's just stupid. Seriously, your job is focused on waste and fraud and abuse, and you didn't. It was like, yeah, you got a couple cuts through, but that was because of Trump forcing it through. You didn't do anything. He's one of the few people that gets it. He understands what the people want. He understands what the base wants. He has a phenomenal record. I think he should be in charge of the Doge Committee. Social statement. It was actually the other one, Guide Your Capital. That's who it was.
Guy your capital?
Yeah.
Oh, the guy with the Friedman PFP.
Yes. So he said a century ago, President Calvin Coolidge signed into law the Immigration Act of 1924. He stated plainly, new arrivals should be limited to our own capacity to absorb them. America must be kept American. For this purpose, it is now necessary to enact a policy of restricted immigration. The 1924 Act passed the House and Senate with overwhelming support. Democrats and Republicans agreed, blah, blah. The act was in place until 1965. Since then, we've experienced decades of historic immigration, both legal and illegal. Today, we have higher numbers of foreign-born than the early 1900s. And basically, the gist of it is we need a new immigration act, which is just common sense.
So do you guys want my very high IQ, well-informed, articulated thought on the on the Hard Seller Act?
Yeah.
No.
The issue. So as you guys know, I'm like an ethnic cohesionist. I strongly believe in a very white America because having such thing is really, in my view, the only way to have a stable country unless we slip into authoritarianism, because it's proven you either have ethnic homogeneity, you have ethnic homogeneity and you have security, or you have totalitarianism in a multicultural state. It's not racist or offensive to say that whatsoever. It is really embarrassing that we have to consider these things under cult terminology such as national security instead of the ethnic interest of the country. I mean, straight up, like, MAGA is rapidly evolving into a, well, it's a white person's country. Everyone else is free to stay here, but like we are so far now that ethnic groups who have their own interests contrary, and including throwing whites under the bus. So when we start talking about this like national security, sure, it's a starting point, but it shouldn't stop there, and people should be very keenly aware when it comes to things like the 1924 Immigration and Nationality Act, then you need to understand where the way that they were for the purpose of keeping America white. Like, that's what those issues have been, and the only reason that the Hart-Celler Act is the way that it was is because they intentionally wanted to open the floodgates to the third world and have unrestricted immigration, legal and illegal.
Oh my... Is this actually real? Let's read what this says. Let's read. Got right here. Our campaign has received information from an internal source within her circle that candidate Myra Flores is in a long-standing relationship with married Congressman Corey Mills of Florida 7.
There's a lot going on here.
Corey Mills, everybody. What a lying piece of shit.
With Myra Flores.
What? Listen, I've talked to Corey Mills before. He's a lying piece of shit. After all of this, he's a piece of shit. I hope he gets primaried out.
As we all know, every Muslim arm of Mexican immigrants, you know.
Oh wait, hold up! I'm converting to Islam now.
No.
Oh man,
I mean, seriously.
I'm a Sharia Anglican Yalqaitis now, guys. Sorry, I'm Tyrone al-Baghdadi.
I remember talking to Corey Mills, and a lot of others do. He said he was Christian. This is like a year ago or whatever. He just lied. He just straight up lied.
Look, I just remember what everyone in the server's name is. I have 3 words to describe what the Corey Mills situation. Only in Florida. Only in Florida.
Only in Florida.
Okay, maybe I can give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he converted back to Christianity after he, divorced from his wife. Secretly converting to Islam. Being secretly
in 2014.
Okay, being secretly gay is one thing. A lot of congressmen have been that. A lot of presidents probably have been that, and that's.
I'm openly gay.
Okay, thank you. You're a gay black man neighbor.
I'm a gay black man. I have a lot of friends in the Somali community. I want to send them all back.
Okay, that'll probably get you primaried. Being secretly Muslim will probably get you expelled.
I mean, like, it's just, you lied. You lied to so many people.
I genuinely do not know how Corey Mills has not been expelled by now.
He's going, because he works with Democrats. That's how. Oh, proud to join you in this fight by introducing the More Affordable Care Act in the House next week to actually reduce health insurance. Oh my gosh. Oh, we finally get the health care plan after, what, 10 years?
We're getting the fucking plan, let's go!
Wait, what happened?
They're proposing.
We're getting the health care plan.
We're getting the health care bill.
Next week, they're
Is
saying
it an
allegedly.
actual plan, or is it just bullshit?
They're calling it the More Affordable Care Act. I like that name. I like that name. I like that name.
It better not just be like a 1% insurance reduction or some shit like that.
What I've heard is they're going to take the subsidies and give it right to people. That's what I've heard.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently they're going to do something with price transparency, I think. We'll see. Because that's half the problem. For those that don't know, there's a lot of... the big reason a lot of the medical bill is so bad is there's no transparency. There isn't. The transparency is non-existent.